Okay, so let's talk about submitting jobs on Polaris. We're in our ALCF Beginner's Guide under the scheduling documentation. Let's talk about running interactively. So often you might want to run on the compute nodes where your jobs are going to be running. When you first log into Polaris, you're on a login node. That can be different than the worker nodes. On many systems where you've got custom hardware like NVIDIA GPUs, the login nodes tend to be different because you don't have those GPUs on the login node. So if you would like to use an interactive node, let's use our qsub command to submit an interactive job. And so when you want an interactive job, you're going to submit you're going to use qsubmit. You're going to do this -I, capital I, which is the thing that indicates that we want an interactive job. If we don't include -I, it's going to be expecting us to include a submission script that will tell it how to execute our job, and we'll go over that next. So in general, qsub takes a number of commands, and these are only the bare minimum that you need to run your job. There's separate documentation for PBS and all the things that you can specify. But the bare minimum are to tell it how many nodes that you need. So we use this select command to say, I want to select one node for this job. Then there's the wall time. How long do you need? What's the maximum time that you need that job? You can always exit before this 30 minutes. So this is hours, minutes, seconds. So this is a one node, 30-minute job. You can always exit before that, and you'll only be charged for the amount that you use, not the specified wall time. But you want to make sure you include enough time to get your work done, because the scheduler will cut you off at that limit with a hard kill to your application. Then there's the -Q for telling it which queue you want to submit to. We have a number of queues on Polaris, the debug queue, the prod queue. So debug is really intended for small, short jobs so that you can investigate the issues that you're having with your software. Whereas the prod queue is intended for production. So you've got your application working smoothly. You're going to submit large jobs. They're going to run for some time, and you're going to see what happens. So the other thing you need are the file systems. At the moment, we have the ALCF Beginner's Guide installed in our home directory, so I need access to my home directory. Otherwise, you might include Eagle or Grand in the file systems, which I note down here. You can add these as colon-separated names for Grand and Eagle, and that makes sure that on your worker node that those file systems are mounted and accessible. And then last, you need your project name. The project is where the scheduler will charge your usage. So charging the number of nodes and the number of time, the amount of time you have them against your allocation, which you were awarded when you gained access to our systems. So we can cut and paste this into our terminal. I'm on Polaris, and I'm going to include my project name as data science because I'm a member of the data science group. Now, what that does is it puts a job in the queue if there's a debug node open, which you can see there was in this case. It immediately brings me to the compute node, which is named by this. Now, there are a lot of things you can do here. You can interact with the environment, as we spoke about with modules. So all the module commands are available. All the module software is available. And you can set up your environment. You can run your application interactively, see what its error messages are, try to debug those. That's what the debug queue is for. So that you can run those single node jobs and understand what's going on. On Polaris, we can also, inquire about our GPUs. You can see on this node we have the 4 GPUs as expected, and so we have access to those, and we can query those and understand how those are being used. You might run interactively if you're trying to run any profiling or performance testing, that sort of thing. And that is how you run an interactive node. When you're done, you can just do Control D or exit, and that brings you back here. Your job is exited, and that is done.